Gyökeres, so clearly someone that clubs in the Premier League are going to be interested in. I mean, Arsenal need a striker. Could they go in for him? Is there a chance they might swoop and take advantage of any hesitation here from Manchester United fee-wise? What do you think, Doms?
I mean, there's an interest there, but they seem to be at this juncture pursuing a deal for Benjamin Šeško. And stats-wise, Gyokeres blows a lot of strikers out of the water. If you just look at Šeško's stats in black and white, they're okay. You wouldn't say that they're, absolutely incredible, but you've also got to take into account his age and maybe his ceiling. So maybe I'm going to divert this question to Sam Tai, because we've been asking a couple of the other European experts we've had on Sky Sports News on the transfer show earlier on this week. And the question we've posed to them is, Arsenal appeared to be in for Benjamin Šeško and Viktor Gyokeres. If you were in charge at Arsenal, which one would you buy?
Great question.
I mean, I would say I would start the answer as usual by saying there are pitfalls involved in both deals. Gyökeres' stats can be almost completely ignored. I'm going to be honest with you, because he had the perfect storm scenario this season where he was playing in the Portuguese league, where the bottom of the league, no disrespect to those teams, but they are not even championship standard. They are so poor, and he just rips them to shreds. And then he went away on international duty, and somehow Sweden slipped into the League C of the Nations League, and he was playing against Azerbaijan. So at one point he had like 45 goals in 40 games. I was like, yeah, but like, look at who he's playing against. So
Champions League.
So look, hey, it's not all bad. He scored a hat-trick against Man City, right? I mean, he's played Champions League level football, and he's scored goals. He's also scored goals against Porto and Benfica. He's a good player. But those sort of statistical comparisons between like Šeško's first proper season as a starter for Leipzig versus like Gyökeres just mopping up against really, really inferior opponents is a little bit disingenuous. So you step away from that a little bit, and I would say Šeško is a big bet. It's a big gamble. He's starting to show the kind of potential that a 60 million euro player should be.
And the rest.
But there's a lot of work to do there, and the rest. But there's a lot of work to do there still. Gyökeres is a big bet in a different way, because he's already 27 years of age, hasn't made a single league appearance in a top 5 league, which is a bit weird considering he was in England for a few years, probably 5 years actually, between Brighton and loans at Swansea and Coventry and all sorts. I would go for Gyökeres. I think that experience is very, very important, and I think he's a far more rounded player. Both deals make me very nervous. I would just buy Viktor Osimhen, but I've been saying that for 3 years and no one listens. So whatever.
So pleased you didn't say Alexander Isak then. I was about to walk off the podcast. One deal that's edging ever closer to be talked about for a long time, Zubimendi. Where are we there, Dharmesh, with that one? He looks like a good fit for Arteta.
Yeah, look, the whole deal is effectively done. £51 million release clause. Arsenal will meet that release clause. Personal terms have been agreed in principle, is what we've been led to believe. He's due to have a medical with Arsenal, and then he will become an Arsenal player. There was lots of talk about Real Madrid, and Marca were doing their thing with front page splashes of Zubimendi linking him with Real Madrid. The people that I've spoken to out in Madrid who've got close links to the club say Real Madrid were never in for him. Now, whether they were being briefed by Real Madrid to say we were never in for him because Real Madrid realised that he was going to go to Arsenal and they didn't want to lose face, or we take it on face value and Real Madrid didn't want to sign Martin Zubimendi. This transfer goes back to last summer, though, because he was very, very close to joining Liverpool. Everything was agreed with Liverpool, only for him to change his mind. Now, at the time, and I'm sure Sam said this, it's always very, very difficult for players from the Basque region to leave those football clubs because they are so tightly wedded to those football clubs, Athletic Bilbao, Real Sociedad. The information I have is that there was, aside of the links with and the loyalty he has with Real Sociedad, there was an Arsenal implication in here as well. And I'm led to believe that Arsenal actually made their interest clear to Zubimendi last summer. And they couldn't do the deal last summer because they had Thomas Partey and they had Jorginho. And they knew the following summer, at least one of those two players was going to be leaving the football club. So it's proved so far. Jorginho has gone and Thomas Partey is still in talks over a new contract. Arsenal do want him to stay. However, that's the reason possibly that they couldn't do that deal last summer. But I think Zubimendi's head was turned enough for him to say, I'm not averse to staying at Real Sociedad for a further season, and I would rather go and play under Mikel Arteta, someone I know very well, and go to Arsenal and play in the Premier League with them.
One player who looks like he's not going to Arsenal is Leroy Sané. I mean, was there ever any meat on this bone, guys?
He would have been perfect for Arsenal, and they should have been in for him. But have you seen the contract he is signing with Galatasaray? Like, once you offer someone 15 million euros a year after tax, it is going to be very difficult for anybody, even at the top level, to be able to compete with that. So, maybe like Galatasaray they've just had Viktor Osimhen on loan. It doesn't look like they're going to be making that permanent. Perhaps they've had some investment, or maybe they just had some Osimhen cash lying around, but they've gone big on Sané. I'm sure other clubs are interested, but I sincerely doubt anybody was going to get to, I mean, that's about 290 grand a week. That's a huge, huge salary.
Huge salary, but remember, free transfer. So no transfer fee involved in that at all, which was probably been overtaken by the fact that the wages are so high. But yeah, it looks like it's a done deal now. We had pictures of him on Sky Sports News, actually, of him being welcomed in the only way Galatasaray fans can welcome a potential new signing. It was crazy. I think what's happening, I think Sky Germany is saying that he won't be playing for Bayern Munich in the Club World Cup. The information I have is that is likely to be the case, but it's still under discussion because he's still got a contract with Bayern Munich until July the 1st. And if Bayern Munich really wanted to dig their heels in, they said, no, he's coming to the States and he's going to play in the Club World Cup for us before he goes to Galatasaray. Or maybe they will try and do what these other clubs have done and say to Galatasaray, well, if you want him, you're going to have to pay up the rest of his contract at least.
No, imagine if you were Galatasaray and Sané had signed this deal, 15 million euros a year, 3 years, 45 million euro commitment, and he plays a group stage game at the Club World Cup for Bayern and he does his knee.